Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Media True Nerd, and welcome back to the Turing Test, a game about being in a, well, kind of, I was about to say a space station, but not, we're actually buried deep under the ice of Europa, where some bad things have been happening with AI, with organisms, with all sorts of stuff, and we've just found our way to the crew quarters, so hopefully we might be able to find some answers here. Let's start having a little look-see round. The captain. Classified, so it said. Can we get in here? Can we see what's going on in here at all through the crack? Not as far as I can see. A plaque. Him and his brother. But I can't see what's actually going on in there. Fine. The toilets with a note. I do not see the need for so many cameras. Tom's presence everywhere is slightly oppressive. I understand the need for transparency. Why is he in the toilets? So Dr. Sarah Brooke and Chris... Okay, so Chris MacLeod we know is... very dead. Ooh. That could be his body. Right there, in fact. Yes, because we know he's dead. Although I assumed he was dead. No, wait, that can't be his body. He's dead at 160 degrees below zero. Also, he was apparently the most stereotypical Canadian that ever lived. Now, Sarah, the main exobiologist who potentially is to blame for all of this business. What can we find out here? Oh, she was much more of a neat freak. Oh, and she had a golden retriever. Good choice of dog. No, don't put the pencils back right. Put them back all messy. Okay, this feels relevant. Dear Tom, knowing that you're always watching, I thought I would write you a letter. As you no longer reside in my mind, I've decided to transfer my thoughts to text. I want to do so in the form of a history lesson, a lesson that perhaps you'll find condescending, but it's likely more for my sake than yours. Alan Turing is considered a father of theoretical computer science and artificial intelligence. Perhaps a lesser-known part of his life was his contribution to the field of biology. Why do you suppose his interests lay in these two disparate fields? I assume it was because he believed the world to be logical and understandable. He was a mathematician. He seemed to believe the great complexity of the universe could be explained with simple rules. 2 years before his suicide in 1952, Alan Turing developed something called the reaction diffusion systems. Inside the academic world, this work is cited more than his work on computers. It can generally be formalised as a one-line equation. And there's a one-line equation, absolutely. In plain English, this equation describes things that wish to diffuse, however also react with each other during this process. I'm sure this sounds strange to you, or at least tangential to our lives here on Europa. What relevance does it have to anything here? Reaction diffusion systems show how patterns are created. They show how a leopard got its spots, how the zebra got its stripes. But my real interest here is Turing's interest, that nature can be formalised, that we can understand the natural world in mathematical terms. And I think we're kind of touching on the question of the Chinese rooms, a computer attempting to formalise things even if they don't really understand the real truth behind it, if you like. According to the most extreme form of this view, the only way by which one could be sure that a machine thinks is to be a machine and feel oneself thinking. One could then describe these feelings to the world, but of course no one would be justified in taking any notice. Likewise, according to this view, the only way to know that a man thinks is to be that particular man. The human mind exists within the physical world, it obeys the same rules of physics and chemistry as every other thing in the world. Therefore, like all of nature, it is merely reactive. It is curious that nature would create through the mechanics of determinism creatures that believe they have free will. Conversely, I suppose, if we conclude we are all machines, we only came to this conclusion in a predetermined manner. We cannot claim credit for our discovery, as it is just a product of nature's genius, not our own. A humbling idea, I think. Behaviourism. Perhaps we are more similar than we think. Okay, so we've kind of stumbled into determinism as a philosophical concept, which I have studied in the past. I did a module of philosophy at university. The idea that, of course, if in the brain it's all just chemicals and atoms bouncing off each other, then how can free will exist? Because chemicals and things and electrical impulses and everything in the brain can be explained chemically. So how can free will be accounted for? I guess there's, people can talk about chaos theory and things that are actually beyond my area of understanding, but interesting. I like there's a little history lesson about Turing, by the way. Turing was a brilliant scientist. I think not enough people learn about him. Utter genius, and of course a great tragedy that he did indeed kill himself. So, the doctor who something went wrong with here, Mikhail. What went wrong? Oh, he was a painter as well. Interesting. The question is, what happened to him? Because we know for a fact that he stopped responding to Tom in the slightest. Let's see if we can figure anything out here. The whole team experienced nausea during a large electrical surge in Europa's atmosphere. I'm concerned. This was not an instance of mass hysteria. Vital signs were affected. It caused a uniform surge in heart rate that was detected in all members of the crew. I'm reporting to the ISA. I reported the nauseous incident. They offered the explanation of electrical disturbance to our central nervous system. This is ludicrous. An electrical surge large enough to affect our nervous system would have done more than make the team feel ill. I'm going to experiment with some shock therapy. I've discovered that electronic fields disturb our telemetry implants in a way I didn't expect. I've contacted the ISA. Strangely, Tom was not comfortable with my attempt to disturb the implant. The ISA have reported back informing me that I'm not to disturb the implants. They've also encouraged me not to discuss this further with the team. Russian swear word, I'm guessing. I've been running some experiments outside of Tom's view. I can tell he knows this. He's been acting differently around me, like an offended child. I feel increasingly nauseous. These implants seem to have neural connectivity. Out-of-body experiences are more frequent. And I've established a definite correlation. Against my knowledge, I have been implanted with a device that affects my mind. I used my opportunities in regular health checkups to investigate the crew. We all have them. Every single one of us is implanted with some mind-altering contraption. Tom has been encouraging the team to worry about my mental health. He requested I retire away from the crew. Misinformation. I cannot will myself to investigate this further. I grow tired quickly. I cannot think straight. I am not sure if the implant is affecting my thoughts anymore. I believe it is trying to subdue my mind. I think I am going to attempt an excision. I am going to remove this implant. When he couldn't respond to Tom anymore, it's because he was being drugged or manipulated or something against his will. I'm typing with my left hand now. The excision went wrong. I've successfully removed the implant. Unfortunately, I lost my hand in the operation. Tom is very angry. The crew refuses to talk to me. Apparently, I am a bad influence. Sarah patched me up. I wonder if the nature of the organism and its disturbance of my DNA caused my awakening from Tom's influence. If so, that would make for a worrisome revelation. Perhaps this organism is not so friendly. No, indeed, you probably shouldn't trust the thing you dug out of Europa. Dan informed me the ISA have called for my termination. My masochistic experiment proves I am a danger to the mission. Fortunately, he chose not to lock me in the brig. I'm going to investigate this implant further. I have to hide my work. The team are becoming increasingly aggressive. They seem to oppose my work to understand the implant. It does not help that Tom is encouraging them to distrust me. Here we go. I've discovered the nature of the implant. It is a complex computer. It interfaces with the human mind directly. It seems to condition the mind through Pavlovian and instrumental conditioning, eliciting feelings of euphoria when the wearer is obedient and dysphoria when they are disobedient. It also has the effect of suppressing impulses in the frontal lobe, presumably to lower free will. It seems to interface crudely with the motor neuron cells through the cerebellum. It is my hypothesis that the crew is controlled by this implant. That is their strong aversion to helping me. I need a method of suppressing its impact, perhaps a drug? Maybe an antidepressant to minimise the conditioning effects. Combined with a strong electromagnetic field, I could use one of the industrial electromagnets from the construction robots. And I've managed to get Chris on my side. He's agreed to test some medical procedures with me in private. It'll be more difficult one-handed. I must persevere. I'm hoping to keep this out of the eyes of Tom, though I have a feeling he will still be listening. And of course, Chris ended up dead. And this raises some big questions about whether I myself have any form of free will at the moment. Who knows, hey? Who bloody... Did you just flicker? Stop trying to freak me out there. And then one more room. The doctor. Okay, and... a wedding band. Intriguing. Meanwhile, the doctor can tell us more about the organism. What is it you found? We found an extremophile, an organism that can live in extreme conditions that survives massive doses of radiation. Radiation damages DNA. The extremophile has a virus living inside it. The extremophile scavenges DNA from other organisms, which the virus uses to repair the xenophile's damaged DNA. Essentially, they work together in what's called a symbiotic relationship. So what's the implication? In some ways, it is an immortal relationship. It doesn't age biologically. Aging and death are ultimately caused by DNA damage. We have the ability to fix our DNA, but that ability is limited. This organism can repair damage caused by massive doses of radiation. If we could harness this power, we could potentially eliminate biological aging. Okay, so you found something that could make humans immortal. Not exactly, there are many causes of death other than DNA damage. It would not save you from trauma, brain damage, cardiac arrest, etc. But it could potentially cure cancers and many genetic diseases and massively increase life expectancy. Okay, so that's why they were so interested in experimenting with it, but they may have been just a little bit too eager there. So following some experiments on plants, something's amiss. We don't know what's performing the repair. The lab doesn't know how E. radiophilus, good name, could repair DNA. Have you considered that another organism might be in a symbiotic relationship with radiophilus, perhaps a virus? So we ran a PCR on the human cells exposed to radiophilus to see if there was a virus present. We have discovered an unknown virus which we have named unknown Europa virus UEV. And we have got ourselves a image attached. This is phenomenal. You need to sequence this. We've finished sequencing it. Data attached. It is a virus unlike any we have ever seen. Maybe we have found a cure for aging, a form of biological immortality. The plants are clearly exhibiting longer lifespans when exposed to the organism. We don't have the facilities here to continue testing. We're going on to human testing. We're going to use ourselves as subjects. It's the only way to accelerate progress. And that's where it all went wrong then. Well, bloody done. Alright, that's enough of that. Let's head onward, shall we? So, on to Sector 21. And at this point, we know, well, we know that there's brain implants that may be affecting me as well as the others. Like, I'm part of this crew. I've got these brain implants as well. We've got a robot that's just a little bit too evil for my liking. And we have indeed got a form of kind of mysterious alien parasite that these guys intentionally infected themselves with. Dear oh dear.
These people should not have been sent here. It's not safe.
Manned space travel is not safe. Since mankind first entered space, the debate has raged over the value of manned space travel. There is a large contingent of the ISA that believes all tasks that need to be performed on Europa could be performed by machines. It is obviously less risky to send machines rather than humans into space.
Okay, what have we got going on here in particular? What do we need over... Okay, so we need... If this goes... Hang on, let's just test this quickly. You go over there. That opens the final door. What opens... Oh, okay, hang on. Then we've got to have... Ah. Okay, if we just have... No. Come back over here for a second. No. Over here. Over here. You over there. Alright, now. This over here... I grab this, which isn't even currently doing anything. This goes on here to weigh that down. That opens... Oh. That opens that door. Right, okay. Hang on. Okay, so theoretically I follow what I'm supposed to be doing here, which is I need to not have a box on that switch to get through this door. Then a box needs to appear on the... Oh. Ho. No. I get it. I need... You go over there. Hang on. Yep. Okay. No. I've got it. I'm clever. Don't worry. I can do this. Now, this just needs to go on the top about here or so. Will that be about right? That will be fine. So that goes up here. Ah, you see. I get this. I'm fine. I'm clever. Don't worry. So now I just step through here. All right. Now I grab that. That falls. This opens. This goes in here. Oh, yes. I am the best.
We sent drones to Earth's moon. Scientists can remotely operate drones. If we did it there, why not here too?
Teleoperation became possible on the moon when the communication latency was reduced to 1.4 seconds. The distance between the Earth and Earth's moon is approximately 1.3 light seconds. This enables near real-time control of drones by scientists. The story is different with Europa, as the distance between Earth and Jupiter oscillates between approximately 32 and 53 light minutes. It takes a very long time for Earth to communicate with Europa. Due to that distance, teleoperation will never be possible on Europa.
Okay, but why not control drones from the satellite?
Why not indeed? My systems can be teleoperated from Europa's satellite. That is when the communication lines are open. However, the advantages of human field workers apparently outweigh the risks.
Okay, just need to get that one blob up here. Fine. What does this thing do? Hello? And that... Ah! Apparently this is all just teaching me about moving things around with switches. Fine.
So, why can't you solve these tests, Tom?
I am not permitted to think laterally. Parts of my systems are permitted to use evolutionary algorithms. This simulates what is called creativity. However, evolutionary algorithms can converge on inefficient and ethically suboptimal solutions. Since this is the case, I'm only permitted to take actions in response to a set of constraints.
What do you mean by morally suboptimal?
Solutions to problems that transgress ethical boundaries.
Okay, you're really not doing a good job convincing me you're not completely evil here, Tom. Right, so this goes over here. Right, that's got... Ooh. This should probably be the other way round, shouldn't... Or, wait, do I have the ability to... I don't know if I've even got the ability to change it the other way round, because... I need to get... Okay, let's just see what's further ahead. We might be able to get another blob yet. Here we are, here's another blob. So we've got another blob over here, and that shuts that down, fine. So I need to get myself a blob up here, and the blob needs to go over to here. And then... hang on a minute. Yes, actually, wait, hang on, I could store it. If I just go to... No, I can't store it there. Hang on. Okay, you, come over here. You also come over here. I need 2 blobs, please. But I need that door open. Okay. Now I've got 2 blobs. I think I actually need to go back the way I came. So that needs to reopen. And we need to also reopen you. So now what I need to do is now grab this one, right? And that needs to be put... I need to grab this. And then I just need to put this down for a second. And then I need to put a blob in here. And then I need to grab this again. Alright, now I've got the block. That's better. That can now go over here. I can now grab any of these. It doesn't matter. Shove that over here. This comes over here. And now I can use the block to keep the door open, which leaves both the blobs available for grabbing. So grabby blob, and roundy we go. And this will work perfectly. Nice. Now if we just go around here, we can grab both the blobs, and that there is definitely the solution. Very, very good.
Why does a lack of creativity stop you solving these tests?
Well, I contend that problem solving is creativity. These human interaction tests are exercising your creative mind.
I don't see how problem solving is creative.
Think back to the beginning of these tests, to the first puzzle you solved. It required you to throw a box through a window. Do you remember?
Yeah, I think so.
I simply had never thought to throw a box through a window. That is creativity, thinking outside of the box.
Okay, so now I've got this ramp down as well. What's the advantage here? Okay. I mean, the door has to be open, otherwise the beam doesn't make it through at... Oh! No, it doesn't, because this is one of those power when there's no power things. Never mind, I solved the room by accident.
Can a computer ever be creative?
They can. But a computer's method of creativity is to try everything until something works. Think of nature. People consider nature creative. The process of evolution by natural selection. It perhaps started with one organism. From there, it essentially tried to create every organism it could. Those organisms that did not survive perished. So, nature's creative force is to try every conceivable idea. Those ideas that work survive.
Okay, so why aren't you permitted to emulate that process?
Because the solutions that a biological process creates are not always good solutions. As we see, nature is morally ambivalent. It will happily create morally suboptimal ideas to fulfill its creative mandate. We see this in parasitic worms, viruses, and pathogens.
Okay, so I've got this thing over to the end now, which feels like the right sort of thing to have done. Can I get that? I think I need to suck the power out of this magnet first. Hang on. Ah, okay, sorry, I got confused there for a second. I actually had to pull the power out just to turn off the magnet. Got it. You know, I quite like philosophy, just kind of, you know, being spoon-fed in little kind of small amounts between each of the puzzle rooms. It's quite good.
If you weren't restricted, do you think you could be creative?
As creative as a human? Certainly. You believe yourself to be a creative? but in mathematical terms, creativity is merely constrained chaos.
What do you mean?
I have discerned that creativity is divergent thinking, creating an organic solution to a problem. In the human mind, divergent thoughts are created and then curated by the frontal lobe. I can create divergent thoughts and moderate them, so I am creative.
Organic solutions?
Organic, in that it is developed through a biological process, whether that is the process of evolution or a computed process.
Okay, so I'm in this room here, one of the side rooms that are certainly a little bit more complex than anything else. What exactly am I looking at right now? So you're looking at me. Hello. Can I do anything to you at all? Can I just put a block? No, I can't just put a block there. That's a shame. I know I can't climb with these things. Can I create a little pile of them to hide myself? I'm wondering if that's where I'm going with this. Because I don't actually see anywhere for these things to be plugged in. So instead I'm going to try and, like, hide. See if I can hide from the camera here. Aha! Yes, that actually worked for a second until it went wrong. There we go. Now I just need to hide from myself. And is that... Okay. So what I actually need to do is hide so it can't see me at the point at which I'm closest to the door. So I need to position the door. Yeah, here we are. So if we create a pile about here, this would be about right. There we are. And now we just drop down and climb up. And that should be the solution. Using the boxes too. In we go. And now we go. Oh, hello. Hello, hello. What is this? I know there's a storage unit. There's also clearly a thing that I can't get to because there's no crouch button, but there's clearly a hole there. Hello. Right, time for another terrifying... Ooh. Yes. Just you know, step inside the terrifying room into the spotlight and just start interacting with the computer, why don't we? Marvellous. Ooh, hello. Hi there. Ooh. Oh, I've just found something very special. What the... Oh, I'm glad I'm not playing this in VR. This would be trippy. And all of a sudden, I'm like creaking and cracking as I move. Up to a beautiful... Ooh. This is weird. This is weird. Now, okay. Hello. Do you want to be friends? Yes, I'd like to take that. Thank you. I'll have one of them. And then, oh, I'm actually solving puzzles in here. That's intriguing. So, I guess I don't need both of them. All right. Or, oh, hello. What's this? Just got one here. No, that's just an eye. Okay. So, where do I get another one of? Can I just get that? No. Can't get that because... Oh, yes, I can. Marvellous. Right, in it goes. Lovely. And then out we come. Okay, fine. That's nice that that's there. How interesting. Right, on to the next actual room. Room 26 or something. Hello. So, green energy bolt means kind of sporadically opens and closes. If I take it out, it's permanently closed. So I can sneak through... Lovely with this, but I'm going to need some proper blue energy to make this work properly here. So, pull that out for a second, and then that just goes back to normal. And then we've got nothing down here. So, how are we going to make this work? Hello. I need... Oh, a blue energy bolt. Right, okay. So, the blue energy bolt now goes in. So, whichever one you've got at the front of your gun does fire first. Lovely. Right, let's get the blue energy bolt back, because blue energy is apparently much, much better. And then we've got... Ooh. This is going to be a problem. If I use my blue energy bolt up here... Actually, if I use blue up there, is green going to be good enough for this one? Oh, I think it is, you know. And then... Oh, alright, we just need to time this correctly. Jump, and done. Beautiful. There we are. We've got our way up. Though, now I need to come back round here and grab, let's just grab that green energy just in case we need it later. Lovely. So that just goes in there. And now that will open, and this will open, and so on. Lovely. And through we go. Stage 27.
Okay, so you could solve these tests, but in a terrible fashion. Can you think of a solution to this one?
Chop off your arm and leave it on the button. That way the door will stay open.
Yeah, that's not a great solution.
You threw the box through the window. Perhaps we could throw you through the window.
Actually, Tom, I think I'm okay for help.
Right you are.
I quite like Tom. He's a nice little kind of alternative universe GLaDOS. So all I need to do is... Well, hang on. This seems remarkably simple. What stops me just literally put box on button and then... Because that also causes that to light up. So I need a way to get the box back off the button. Let's just suck up the power here and see what happens. Wait, I see what we need to going on here. Right, so what I need to do is put that there. That moves into that position, right? So that's powered like that. Move that back out here. Okay, I see what we need to do here. So, just grab thing. That means door... Well, that door opens, the final door closes. This goes over to... Wait, how far away is that? That's right at the end. So, if we put this down here... Right, fine. So now we put some energy over there. This door goes over there. I come through here. And now we just suck this power out. And that opens the door. Done. Beautiful. Sector 28, in we go.
Can I have an update on the crew?
I have not managed to track them down.
It will have been 6 years since I've seen them. Or anyone, actually.
They have locked all the doors. I would not expect a warm reception.
Well, at least they're expecting us.
Okay. So I need to provide power to this door. How does that work then? So right now these things are already aligned. And that creates a blob. Okay. But I don't need that. I need you to be aligned to... Oh, hello. Okay, so what else have we got? Have we got any other shapes around here? Because I need you to be aligned to about here. Yep. And then I need, ideally, I need a piece that's not a straight piece. I need something else. Okay, that's nothing but straight pieces there. You got anything we got here? How about this? Hang on, no. Be straight. There we are, that'll do. So now, now it's kind of working, but not that well. So, grab that, and then, can we put that in there? Okay, and that opens the door. Nice. Okay, well that, partly opens the door. And then is that ever going to give enough? No, that's not going to give enough energy either. Right. Okay, so now I've rotated the whole thing round. The base as a whole transmits power. And now what I can do is, now I'll have the opportunity to grab the blue. There we are. Just wait for the right moment and then just hammer. There we go. Get the blue. The blue opens the door. Lovely. Sector 29. Oh, into the green sector. Also, stop scanning me.
So what was the need to send us here?
When the ISA discovered life on Europa, they deemed a ground crew necessary. The advantage of human field workers is that they can adapt to new knowledge more effectively. I, apparently, was not cutting the mustard. It is the Chinese room problem. A computer may be able to interact with new knowledge, but it does not know the value of that knowledge.
Okay, so the power leads to the stairs not being on. Fine. And this switch causes... this whole business to turn around. Fine. Okay, let's just activate this door. Let's just figure out what all these rooms do here in room 29 one by one. That gives me some actual power. But power that cannot be used there. Fine. And power that if I want to get it upstairs, I'm going to need to reactivate the ramp for a second. Okay. That's okay. Let's just put the power back onto this for a second. And that there will give me... Okay, this is now up here. Because I imagine I might need this later. So now I'm going to turn this over to here where I know there's something. That opens up this room. This room, guessing is where this is supposed to be ending up. In you go. Lovely. That's put some power somewhere upstairs. Okay, and that's led to this door being opened. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. This door is now... is that something I need this side? Hang on. Oh, no. Wait. I get it. I just need to spin the power around to face this way now. So you round like this sort of an angle, right? That's presumably doing something, right? And then, no. Suck power out. Lift goes down. put power back in. Lift goes up. Oh, yes. I am the best. I am the best. And through we go to Sector 30. Ah, now, this is the last room. Or rather, the last room I'm allowed to show you. This game doesn't come out until the 30th. And until that point, all I can show you is room 30 and whatever is slightly beyond it.
I've started to collate information from my local instance. It seems the crew intentionally cut communication with the satellite.
Why?
It appears we had a disagreement.
Okay. The crew versus the AI by any flipping chance. Now, how can we do this? Right, okay. Yep, fine. And then that starts slowly rising again. So I can pull this stuff down. And then, aha. Right, and then just bring that down nice and quick. And now jump, okay, and then jump. Here we go. So this gets me up to the next level. Okay, and now these will naturally return to the top of the room. So that just gets me up to here. So I just need to get... What does this do? That makes that go down. Well then, what are these things for then? And I can make it go much higher by default. Okay. Hang on, let's just check what happens if I just do this like the way that seems sensible. Because if I just power this thing, then it just goes a little way up, but not enough. So what I need to do is create like a little staircase. So this one needs to go like a little way up, but enough that I can jump on top of it. And this one needs to go quite a bit further up, so that when that one is raised by power, its starting position is higher, and then this one further still. Okay? This should work. So now, hop on here. Power. Jumpy acrossy. Downy. Power. Jumpy acrossy. That. Power. There we go. And this here is... Where are we? Maintenance. So that's the final test room I can show you. And this here is the final area I can show you.
This confirms my fears. The crew have made intentional breaches of my security. The crew have attempted to compromise my systems.
What does this mean?
They don't want to be found. They are hiding.
From who?
Us.
Ah. Bits of Tom. They were taking apart the security systems, the cameras, all the rest of it. And from what we read, it would appear they were quite possibly right to do so. So one keyboard on the ground. Ooh. That code right there. 761732. I'm going to write that down right now, because remember there was that locked office right at the beginning. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be the code, but I wouldn't rule it out. Access denied, nothing of any interest. That is is that a schematic of the drill? Can't interact with this. Yes, indeed, the technical operations machine. I'm guessing that's... Oh, no, that's Tom. That's a plan of Tom. They were taking him apart, looking at him, trying to figure out what was going on here. So they were taking apart the robot units of Tom himself. Tom is watching, warns the graffiti. Indeed, he probably is. And then we've got machines here we can just move around but not do much with. And one last thing in here, a few more audio logs, a final set of audio logs.
I am concerned about Mikhail.
Why is that?
He seems to be developing antisocial habits. He is spending a lot of his time in private, don't you think? Perhaps you should talk to him.
What do you want me to say?
Just keep an eye on him. Make sure he doesn't do anything rash.
Are you that worried?
His behavior is not within normal parameters. Please make sure he is okay.
So obviously we know from Mikhail earlier that he was worried Tom was spying on him and trying to turn everyone against him, so... But then again, we don't know if we can trust Mikhail. Maybe Tom is more reliable than these guys who are exposed to the parasite are.
Don't you think they might be doing the right thing?
Grounding us on a foreign moon? No, Daniel, I don't think they're doing the right thing.
You don't have to be so aggressive about it. They must have their reason.
Yeah, plausible deniability.
So they were unhappy about being grounded and suspicious that if anything went wrong, they were just going to deny the whole thing had ever taken place. They were starting to get scared.
Daniel, Could I have a word?
I'm busy.
It is important.
Okay.
Are you aware that Christopher and Mikhail are involved in self-harm?
Sorry, what? For how long?
They have both macerated their right arms. Mikhail has completely removed his forearm.
His whole forearm?
Yes.
Where are they?
I had attempted to stop the situation escalating myself, but I seem to have failed. I came to you because, as our loyal captain, I can trust you to help them.
Where are they?
I don't know. They've disappeared.
So they hid somewhere from Tom, of course, just as Mikhail previously said. And finally...
Sarah, I need advice.
Okay.
What would you do if someone threatened your friends?
Your hypothetical friends, I assume.
Yes, my hypothetical friends.
You should protect those you love.
I need you to remember that, Sarah.
Well, that's a sinister thing for a robot to say to you. And that there is all we have got. 'Cause I'm pretty sure, looking over to the next room, yeah, that'll take us down into number 31, and we're not allowed to be there. So that there is indeed the Turing test. But before we wrap up here, one more thing. Back to the prologue, waking up for the first time we go. Let's just try that code on the locked door in the spaceship. Here we go. Crew lobby, office 2, Daniel's office. 7, 6, 1, 7, 3, 2. It worked. Oh my god, it worked. I've just unlocked the extra secret bit of the prologue. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. We are cooking with gas now. What are we going to find in here? We found a secret bloody room.
Final log of Captain Daniel MacLeod. I don't really believe in a god. If there is one, I hope he's forgiving. Maybe Sarah was right. Maybe we should go home. There's just too much on the line here. I used to dream of exploring the stars, being humanity's great hope for knowledge. But this is no boy's dream. I hope you understand why I did this. If you're listening, Ava, just go to the surface. I didn't have the strength. I am sorry.
Ooh. Extra bit of information from him. Okay, this is really cool. And more text as well. To whom it may concern, I'm sure the record shows my utmost respect and loyalty for the ISA. I encourage you to read the reports of my exemplary performance as commander of this mission. I, however, must announce that to my shame, I've not been able to control an uprising of the Europa ground crew. Despite ISA directives, the ground team have sought to leave Europa and return to Earth. They've compromised most of the ship's security. As such, I'm convinced they have the capability to stage a return to Earth. The technical operations machine permitted me transit to the Fortuna. From here, I'm requesting a manual override for the technical operations machine. I know the technical operations machine is not permitted to harm any human life, but I have to put an end to this mess. Okay. So it seems like what's actually going on is those people who were scared about being locked down have already fled from Europa and are trying to get back to Earth, potentially with some very dangerous organisms or technology on board. And then following on from that, the executive order lads responded, but it was all redacted because it was confidential. And one more terminal. Tom, Organism 119 is dangerous. Organism 119 must not leave Europa. Organism 119 must not be destroyed. The crew should be encouraged to continue studying Organism 119. Any attempts by the crew to leave Europa should be discouraged. And then a whole bunch of data. Tom, the crew do not seem responsive to our actions thus far. We need you to wake up Ava. She should be sent to the surface to investigate. Tom, the crew do not seem responsive to our actions thus far. We need you to wake up Ava. That's the same message, but the data on the end is different. A whole bunch of new data has been appended. Is the ID is the same? Okay. This is intriguing. End of correspondence. Oh, Tom's secret room. I love it. I tell you what I really like about this story. It's that I don't actually know who the threat is right now. Like, you know, we've got 3 separate things here, which is there's something going on inside my head. A machine inside my head that's causing trouble for me, that's like potentially warping my perceptions of the world. We've got the organism and the virus within it, and we've got Tom himself. And all 3 of those could be the big bad. And I don't know which one actually is, which is brilliant, because I'm going into this like not knowing what the next twist is going to be, because it could be any of the above. Brilliant. But as I say, that's all of the Turing Test I'm allowed to show you right now, which is fair. It's a narrative game, you know, the plot's a big part of it, so, you know, it would be a bit unfair if I could show you the entire plot and the ending before the game even comes out. This comes out on August the 30th, and when we hit August the 30th, I am indeed allowed to show off the rest of the game. Let me know in the comments below if you'd be interested to see the remainder on the 30th. I would certainly potentially be interested in looking at the rest of this. It is a fun, interesting little game, and I'm finding the plot rather enjoyable, not least as it's nice to have a kind of sci-fi mystery thing where there is genuinely mystery, because I have no bloody clue what the actual end result is going to be. I just don't know. So that's the Turing Test, and if you enjoy things like Portal, Magnetic Cage Closed, that sort of thing, you know, puzzle games with testing chambers, and indeed puzzle games with testing chambers and a slightly sinister robotic voice following you around making slightly sinister comments, albeit not quite as sinister as GLaDOS was, then yes, this might well be the thing for you. Out next week, and maybe I will cover the rest of it. Let me know if you'd be interested. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, I've been John, this has been many a true nerd, and this has been the Turing Test. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Here, have a hat. Oh, you don't have a head. I'm sorry, that was really insensitive of me. Oh, I don't want to interface with whatever this is, but alright. Oh god, he's running Windows 8. No bloody wonder it's all gone tits up. Fire extinguisher, if it's a choice between you and me, I'm afraid I'm sacrificing you, just FYI.